We've all had it happen before where you've accepted a ride on accident or you've accepted a ride and the pickup location is just too far away. What are the best practices for canceling and how do you cancel? Joe here with the Rideshare Guy, and today we're going to talk about how and when to cancel an accepted ride. So there are typically two scenarios for me personally where I will cancel an accepted request. One is if I accept the request and the pickup location is just too far away. I prefer not to make that trip to make that pickup. So sometimes I will just let that request go through and I won't accept it. Other times I'll accept it on accident and then I'll want to cancel that as soon as possible. Other times I'll basically accept the request, and if I don't want to affect my acceptance rating, I'll accept that request and I'll call the passenger and say, "Hey, I'm just too far away. I'm If you wait just a little bit longer, if you wait maybe even a few more seconds, you can request a ride and chances are a driver will be closer." So in the chance that you do accept the request on accident, you want to try and cancel that request as soon as possible. So you want to have the cancellation process memorized so that you can do it right away. My other typical scenario is when I arrive at a passenger's location, I personally expect them to be ready. So when I arrive and if I don't see them, I will send them a text message saying, "Hey, it's Joe, your driver. I'm just out front." Now, if I don't hear anything back from them, I personally will not call. Usually, the only time I will call is if I really need the request, say it's during peak times, I want the request, I'll be a little bit more lenient. But most of the time, in between the peak times, if I get there and the passenger makes me wait the full 5 minutes and that expires, I will just cancel the ride and collect the cancellation fee. I personally feel that 5 minutes is plenty of time. The passenger should know they should be ready within that amount of time. So for me personally, that justifies canceling without calling. I do send that text, so I have made contact, but I don't feel the call is necessary. And there's one more scenario where I personally won't do this technique, but this can be applied in bigger markets. It was suggested by Jay, another rideshare guy contributor, and he only does this during peak times where you want as many requests or you want to do as many rides as possible. So the longer trips aren't ideal. So basically what he'll do is when he's approaching the pickup location, he will try and see with Lyft. You can see you've arrived, you can actually see the destination. With Uber, you actually have to start the ride in order to see the destination. But with both, he'll try and see where those destinations are, and if they're just too far away, he'll go ahead and cancel the ride right there. And chances are, in those more dense, those bigger markets, that rider will get a driver that's going to be there right away. It won't be that much longer of a wait time. Not a great experience for passengers, but as drivers, during those peak times, you want to maximize rides. So that's a strategy that he uses. So we'll jump into the Uber and Lyft driver apps, and we'll show you those three scenarios, and we'll show you how to cancel in each scenario. So we'll do the Uber demo first, and this is scenario one. This is a basic cancellation where you either have an accidental acceptance or you've accepted an unwanted ride. You decide that the pickup location is just too far away and you'd like to cancel. And again, when you have these accidental acceptances or unwanted rides, you want to cancel those as soon as possible so that the passenger doesn't have a bad experience. So you've accepted the ride on accident or you've determined that the pickup location is just too far away. You'll select the top right clipboard icon and then you'll just select cancel. And then you select do not charge rider. And here's scenario two, where the passenger exceeds the 5-minute wait time. You have arrived at the passenger's pickup location. This clock in the bottom right will start ticking down from 2 minutes, and then it will start ticking up an additional 3 minutes for a total of a 5-minute wait time. Once that 5 minutes is exceeded, then you can cancel the ride, and you'll get that cancellation fee. And so you'll go ahead and select this bottom right button to officially cancel the ride, and then select rider no-show. Then you can navigate to the earnings screen. You can look at your trip history and you can see that you've received a cancellation fee of $4. Scroll down and select the fare details. Scroll, you'll see you received $4. The rider paid a $5 cancellation and Uber receives $1 of that cancellation fee. And here's scenario three. This is Jay's trick where it's during peak time only, where you want shorter rides, you want as many as possible, and the longer rides aren't the greatest. So you're about to arrive, and in order to see the destination, you'll have to actually start the trip. And if you determine that it's just too far away, you'll complete the trip, and then you'll select Do Not Charge Rider. Again, this is only recommended in larger markets. This probably won't work too great in smaller markets. Next, we'll do the Lyft demo. So again, here's scenario 1, where you have an accidental acceptance or an unwanted ride. You'll select the top right down arrow, and then just select Cancel Ride. And here's scenario 2, where your passenger exceeds the 5-minute wait time. This is a little different with Lyft, which they require you to actually make contact with the passenger. I will personally text the passenger right when I arrive. I will only call in certain circumstances. So the clock ticks down the 5 minutes, then you will bluff the call. You'll select the call button, and then the call dialog box will show up in the middle of the screen, and then you will select cancel, which this tricks the Lyft app into thinking that you actually made the call when you didn't. But you have already sent that text message, so you've reached out to the passenger. 5 minutes is plenty of time. If they haven't shown up, I don't feel it's bad practice to just cancel the ride. So now the 5 minutes have expired, and you can select passenger is a no-show. You'll confirm, and then you can navigate to your earnings, and you can see the $5 cancellation fee you received. And you'll see the description, we paid you a no-show fee for this ride. And here's scenario 3, where you're about to arrive and it's an unwanted ride. It's not an ideal ride for you. Again, this is only recommended in larger markets. You have arrived at the passenger's pickup location, so you'll back it out. And with Lyft, when you arrive, you can see the destination if it has been entered. And if it's too long of a trip, if it's not a non-desirable trip, you can select the top right down arrow again and select Cancel Ride. So overall, pretty basic. There's 3 scenarios. There's the accidental, too far away requests. They're the ones where you arrive and you've waited the entire 5 minutes and you want to cancel. And there's also the one in the bigger markets that Jay uses, where it's not an ideal trip and he wants to just cancel that ride in order to get a more ideal trip. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe, and drive safe.